What's up, y'all? Never made a video like this, but I'm very excited. I got some exciting stuff for you here. Doing a tier list of overpriced 90s cars. We have a million cars here. I was worried I wasn't gonna have enough cars, and then I started going through like web pages and watching drifting videos, getting all the cars. I mostly only got the cool ones that I know a little bit about. Didn't want to do like a 90s Corolla. Nobody really cares about that unless you're into that sort of thing. Hey, I don't judge. But yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna start off right off the bat. SC300, my first car. I'm super biased because this was not only my first car, but my second car. Now, I got them when they were worth nothing. I paid like 21 or like 2200 for my first one and like 1500 for my second one. Second one was meh, but the first one was like mint for like a 30-year-old car, but like mint. And now people are charging like 8K just because it has a 2J. But if you got one at that point in time, you've got a sick ass luxury coupe with a freaking 2J. Like, you do like a little bit of mods here and there, and you're easy 500 horsepower, which is incredible. Super cool cars. Fortunately, there aren't a lot of them that are manual. The manual swaps are very expensive. I'm gonna have to say A tier because it's like nostalgic for me, and the engine is just too good, especially if you get a manual one. It's just an awesome car all around, but the price nowadays can't be an S tier. I mean, all of these are going to be overpriced, so I guess we'll see, but hopefully we don't run out of room here. Alright, we got R33 GTR. I mean, it's a legendary car. What can you say? All-wheel drive, Godzilla motor, and it looks fucking awesome. All the GTRs with like the wide body. I don't even think I've seen an R33 in person. Maybe at car shows or something, but sick ass car. I think I gotta go S tier. Low key though. Make sure it's still recording. Hell yeah. Bro, I'm a pro at this shit, don't you guys worry. Okay. Alright, BMW E30 M3. Now these are fucking badass. I don't even think I've seen an M3 E30 in person, only like the base models. And even those are so cool. It's such like a time capsule type of car. In terms of performance, it's not really all the way there. Without like a lot of upgrades. So I'd have to say, see, this is gonna be difficult because I picked only like mostly the coolest cars from the 90s. So to give these like lower ratings is gonna be tough. I'll have to go with B for this one. I'm gonna be wrong, it's a beautiful car, but performance wise, it's meh, as far as I know. Also, obviously I've only driven one car out of, or two cars out of all of these, so I'll take my words with a grain of salt here. Alright, let's do the Corvette next. Honestly, these ones are just low-key kind of ugly. I'm sorry to hate. They look kind of cool in person, but the next generation is significantly cooler in my opinion. I wanted to buy one at one point. I want to say I almost bought one. I'm gonna have to go D, bruh. I don't know anything about them. I'm sorry if you're a C5 guy, but not for me. Miata, I mean, they're just badass cars. They look hella cute. It's like the cheapest rear-wheel drive car. They are getting kind of expensive again, like this model, to the point where like the newer ones are low-key cheaper than these ones are, just because they're getting more rare, as far as I'm aware. Performance-wise, it's not there, but like if you're buying a Miata, I guess that's the same for the E30. If you're buying a Miata, you're not getting it because it's hella quick. You're getting it because it's hella fun. And it's convertible. I'm gonna have to go B tier. I want to have a Miata, for sure. Alright, now we got the S13 hatch. We have 5 different 240SXs on here. So, yeah, we got to do them all separately because they are different in my head. Alright, S13 hatch. I mean, it's just a classic. It's like the OG drift car, just cool modification car. I swear, if they like made a chassis like they do for like old Fords and stuff, you could build a car from just a bare chassis. Like, the amount of aftermarket parts for this car is absurd. I'm a little biased because have always been a little S13 hatch boy, even though I've never had one. I have to go A tier, bro. I can't even justify it, and I don't think anybody else can that pays for one of these nowadays. You're paying 10K for a rusty old Nissan, but they're just cool. I don't know what it is about it, but they're just fucking cool. S14 Zenki is kind of the same. I feel like they have a little bit less cool factor than an S13 hatch for some reason, but I love the Zenkis. For some reason, I like the Zenki better than the Kuki. I feel like the front end matches the rear end better, whereas with the Kuki, the front end is so aggressive, but the rear is not that aggressive. I mean, if you get an aggressive body kit, it works, I suppose, but S14 Zenki is cool as fuck. There's this one I see locally, and it is so freaking cool. And it's weird seeing these cars online because they look regular sized if you like only watch drifting videos, because they're all smaller cars, but it's such a tiny car, like compared to what we're driving nowadays. I'm gonna go B tier, a little B tier. It's a great chassis. I don't know if it's as cool as a hatch though, in my opinion. 300ZX is super underrated. I actually saw one, it's either today or yesterday, and you could just smell it on E85. I'm sure it's fast as fuck. Dude was ripping. They're low-key underrated. I feel like they're still pretty inexpensive too. This is like the only car on this list that's actually inexpensive, besides maybe LS400 and this. Still, I don't know if I can make it a SAB tier, an SAB SAB tier car. But they do look cool. For some reason, it's like the ugly stepchild, but they look good when you do them right. You know what I mean? S14 Kuki, probably put it C tier. I mean, that feels rude, low-key. But I gotta put some of them lower, you know what I mean? Because all these cars are cool in their own way. And the Kukis are cool, bro. And they're more rare. Okay, I gotta go B tier. I'm kind of running out of room here. You might have to go a little smaller. It's just all gonna be on the top side. Okay, we can do this car. So this is Z3M. These cars, I see people driving them around, and I'm like, that looks like a fun car. And I'm pretty sure they're hella cheap, especially if you're not getting a Z3M. I'm sure those ones are expensive, like the S52 ones. But they look fun. But they're also hella ugly. Like, they just don't look good at all. I don't know what it is, but they're just ugly cars. But they're probably hella fun. I'll give it, it's between a D or a C. I'm gonna have to give it a D. I mean, I don't know if I'm really factoring price into this, because I mean, if the price was factored into like an R33, I mean, you can get any modern car probably, and not any modern car, but any modern performance car, and keep up with it pretty well in terms of price wise. Anyways, R32 GTR, same thing. I mean, that's just an S tier. I mean, all-wheel drive Godzilla engine, in my opinion, looks even better than an R33. Like, you're talking about the R32 GTR, I mean, that's just an obvious S tier. It looks beautiful. It's got a sick ass engine. Obviously, the RB26 is not the most reliable thing in stock form, but especially after 30 years or so, but it's just a sick car. I don't know what you could say negative about it, really. Of course, I've never driven one, but NSX, another S tier. I saw one the other day. It wasn't the solid headlight one, it was the flip-up headlights, but they sound so cool, and I'm pretty sure it's stock. So, stock form, sounds badass. It's just a cool fucking car, and they look so good. Definitely way too expensive, but I mean, I get it. They're rare, and they're beautiful cars. S15 240SX, or I guess it wouldn't be a 240SX, it'd be a Sylvia. One of my dream cars. They're so freaking cool. It's the newest, like, S chassis 240SX type deal. They're just freaking cool. I wish they made them in America, but I guess that makes them that much cooler that you have to import them from Japan. But they're just freaking so cool looking. Like, even in stock form, like, this car is just beautiful. I'm gonna have to go S tier right now. We're on an S tier roll right now. Let me move these around. So I believe this is a JZX 90. Don't, if you're from Japan or Australia, wherever you can actually get these, don't come at me, bro, because I don't even know where to start. There's like 90 names for like 4 different cars, but just gonna stay away from that. This is a car from the 90s, I can guarantee you that much. And they look badass. There's one locally and I've seen it, and they're fucking sick cars. It's just that much cooler that they're from Japan. And like 4-door turbo. I don't even know what engine comes in these, to be honest. I have literally no idea. I think they're turbo, but badass 4-door. You make them look sick as fuck. It is kind of funny though, if you like take away the rear wheel driveness, it just looks like a Corolla, but for some reason it's like 10 times cooler. This one, I'm gonna have to go C tier. Just because like the barrier of entry is so difficult because you have to get it all the way from Japan. But like if you're going through all that, you might as well get something crazy, you know what I mean? Like an S tier. Not no C tier. No, I'm just kidding, I'm not hating on those are sick. Alright, now we have an Integra Type R. I believe these are late 90s. Don't know a whole lot of money about them, but I would love to drive one. I feel like Honda builds are low-key fun because everything is real cheap. I mean, I'm sure they can get expensive as any car build can, but they look like fun cars. It's like the Miata version, front-wheel drive Miata, basically. That is a hard top. I don't know anything about the Type R, but maybe I shouldn't have chosen the Type R. People are going to be on me about this one. If I put it D tier, I won't go D tier. That's a little messed up. We'll go C tier. You see what I mean? You can't drift it, so like, what's the point really? No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, I just don't know enough about those to make a good decision. Either 6 S tier because I own one. Sylvia, Coupe. No, I'm just kidding. Let me give a real reason for the 36. They're cheap still. They're still cheap to get manual. Like you can get one for like 3K. You're not finding many other cheap manual rear-wheel drive cars for that price. Even 350Zs. All of these cars on this list are probably going to be 5K plus, except for the exception of Z3M. And maybe like if you got like an SC400, but those, if you're getting a manual one, that's 6K plus at least. Maybe a Miata, like a shitty Miata, but E36 is probably shitty if you're getting it for 3K and it's manual, but it's the cheapest chassis to get to be able to use in some sort of race car fashion, and that is fucking awesome. They're just great cars. They look badass. That's the difference. These two cars are like almost the same engine. I think the suspension's a little different, but it just looks classy and looks good. Yeah, S tier. Obviously, I'm incredibly biased because I spent too much money on one of those, and I am currently, but yeah. S13 Coupe, I used to have a fascination for these. Like, before I even had my own car, I was like, I need one of those. Now, I feel like I don't like them as much as the hatch, but it's like the same car. So, it's cool that you can get, I mean, the two-tone is badass. You can't, as far as I'm aware, you can't get that in a hatch. The two-tone is badass. Like, no other cars do that. But I'm gonna have to go B tier, but don't got flip-up headlights. They are badass though. I'll give them that, but not as cool as a hatch. E46 M3, another one of my dream cars, especially Laguna Seca Blue, and I'd probably get those same exact wheels. They just look cool. I've never driven one, but I assume it's like an E36, but better. Or at least very similar. And they don't have the same cool factor as a lot of these Japanese cars, because you can get them so easily here in the States, or at least in any E46. But once again, it's one of those chassis where you can build a race car out of it. Make sure it's still recording. Swag. You can build a race car out of it for so cheap. If you get a regular E46, you can get one for like 3K. They look great. Obviously, the M3 looks a little nicer than the base model because the wide body and stuff, but good looking cars when you do them right. It's kind of giving A. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if it's anything like an E36, it handles well. I guess the performance isn't really their stock in terms of being like ridiculously fast, but I guess the M3 I'm pretty sure makes like 300 something horsepower, which is quick. It's not crazy. I don't know if it's A tier though. It's not like yeah, it's not really like legendary. I have to go B tier. It's definitely a sick car though. Let me move all these down here. Okay, we got the GS300. Now, I don't know the price of these, but they used to be super cheap. They're cool cars, but you can't really get them manual. I don't even know if they came manual, but you could do the Aristo swap on them, which is sick. I've seen a lot of cool ones that people have done. Somebody in Arizona has a super badass one, all cage, super low, chrome wheels. They're badass cars. In stock form, it's just kind of a daily driver type beat. It's not that fast. It's not that athletic. They look kind of cool if you throw some wheels on them. I'm gonna have to go D, if I'm being honest. Nah. I feel like D sounds harsh, but like the other cars in D aren't like that bad, you know what I mean? Like I'd rather drive a GS300 over like, 90 Civic all day. LS400, these things, in my opinion, are cool as fuck just in stock form. Like luxury, you could, I don't think you can get them super cheap anymore. I've been seeing some weird ass prices for them lately, but if you're getting into like a luxury 90s Toyota and you know it's not gonna break down and you know it's gonna drive till it has 400,000 miles on it, why the hell not? For like $2,000 you can get one of them before, and they're just fucking sick. I might have to go C tier. Like they're not sick in a performance wise, but they're just cool cars, and for the price they're fucking sick. I may be wrong now because they're getting more and more expensive, but Toyota Supra I feel like might be a little bit overrated. I think Fast and Furious kind of made it so popular. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have a Supra and I think they're badass, but it's got the same chassis as an SC300 and they're not the most like athletic car. They're heavy and yeah, it doesn't have the same dartiness, you know what I mean? Like the same agility. We were talking about the Supra. It's not that athletic, but it is badass, and it's got a 2JZ in it, and it's got a 2JZ turbo if you got a Japanese one, and even if you got an American one, you just slap a freaking turbo, rip that distributor. It's like a shipping facility on the engine. Distributor. Is that the same word? Forget it. 2JZ looks badass. They make for great drag cars, as far as I'm aware, because everybody makes them into drag cars. This might be fucked up, but I just can't put an A tier, bro. Like, it's a Supra. It's a Supra, but anybody that knows anything about cars, you see a Supra on the road, you're going, it's a Supra. And you see one in person, they're bad. They're just as cool as they look online. I gotta go S tier. I don't even care if the suspension isn't amazing. And I'm not saying the suspension is bad, but it's not light and darty as you would want from, say, race car. Not like a drag car, like a going around a track kind of car, you know what I mean? FD-RX-7. Oh, we left the two RX-7s for last. That was not on purpose. FD-RX-7. They look amazing. The rotary is hit or miss, I guess. I guess they're not really reliable, or they require a lot of maintenance to keep them reliable, which means that not a lot of people are going to be able to take care of that. But I feel like that just makes it cooler. Like, it's literally different from every other car on here because it has an entire different type of engine, of course, except for the FC RX-7. But that just makes it more unique. And we got them in the US, which is cool. You can actually get a left-hand drive one. You can get a turbo one from the factory. They're light. I don't know how the suspension is, but it's badass cars. You can rip them all the way to like 9K RPMs. I don't know what there isn't to like. It's just like a more badass Miata, pretty much. I have to go S tier for this. I gotta make more room. That'd be fucking funny. Alright, FC RX-7. It doesn't get the same praise that the FD does. I think it's still a badass car. It's really weird that my natural instinct is to rate this way lower than the FD, even though they're essentially very similar cars, like not in terms of the way they look, but engine-wise, I'm not sure about suspension-wise. I think RX-7 has double wishbone. Could be wrong. I think they look badass. I think they're freaking cool. I don't know anything about them. You can get them really cheap, or you could. I don't know if you still can. I think they're a little rare, similar to the FD. Can't go A class or A tier. This isn't Forza. Meow. There's C. I'm gonna have to go D, low key. It's a cool car. They look great, but in stock form, they don't look like this. Like if you just took this one, you know, put it up here, but stock form, they don't look that cool. They're not that reliable. They're not that fast. I have to go D. But that's it. Pretty happy with my choices here. Probably should have just put E36 at the top and everything else on the bottom, but I mean, that's the honest truth. I'm just kidding. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like this kind of video, let me know. It was fun to make. And yeah, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys next time.